What were the best country songs of 2022? It's a tough question to answer because there was just so much fantastic music released over these last 12 months. Narrowing this list down truly was a grueling task. Originally, I had nearly 50 songs in consideration for this list, but after some tough decisions, I am ready to present to you my top 22 country songs of 2022. Really, the only rule here is one entry per artist, otherwise the whole list would just be Jimmy Allen and Jason Aldean, but we try and spread the love around here. Obviously, for time's sake, I can't go in depth on every single song, but naturally, as we get further into the list, I will have more to say. If you enjoyed this video, a like really does help me out, and if you're new, be sure to subscribe for more country music content, stay up to date with all the future content coming at you in the new year, and we're gonna jump right in, wasting no time at all. At number 22, I have Background Music by Maren Morris.
And I love you to all that we are.
Despite Maren being one of my favorite artists to poke fun at, I've maintained high praise for her latest project, Humble Quest, specifically Background Music, which is as charming as it is clever lyrically and musically just an atmospheric stunner. At number 21, I have one of the new kids on the block. It's Rachel McIntyre Smith and her song, The Woods.
Would I be your bride if I had no...
As of late, Rachel has started making some small ripples online, and although everyone's been clinging to Glory Days, and rightfully so, The Woods was the one that always stuck to me thanks to its catchy chorus and equally great writing. Coming in at number 20, it is one of the most widely adored and emotionally moving cuts of the year. It's Hardy's collaboration with Lainey Wilson, Wait in the Truck.
Well, she was bruised and broke from head to toe with a tail.
There's really nothing I can say that hasn't already been said about this track. It's such a powerful message told in such a jarring manner with its multi-phase progression that sees the music always mirroring the story. I was ecstatic to see they're pushing it as a single, just a brilliant, bold statement from two of the genre's buzziest stars. Number 19 is Kane Brown's Beauty, Whiskey Sour.
You didn't really have to go, but you did.
Kane is at his shining best when he leans furthest into a country sound. This ballad blows all of his overdone crossover pop songs completely out of the water. It's one of the simplest, most beautiful ballads of the entire year, with the fiddle on full display as well as the undeniable Randy Travis influence. Number 18 is reserved for another new face. It's William Beckman and his earworm Follow.
Wherever you go, wherever you go.
This song is quick, groovy, catchy, country, and that guitar lick is one of my favorite musical moments of the entire year. Number 17, I'm going with a song from one of the buzziest new stars out of Nashville, Cameron Marlow, and his belter, Does It Have to Be Over.
So let your head fall back on my shoulder, babe.
This song is just an absolute juggernaut, man. There is no looking back with this song. From the moment it begins, it only grows and only gains strength, and Cameron is one of the few individuals with a voice strong enough to do a song like this justice, and boy does he ever. Speaking of trendy new faces out of Nashville, number 16 belongs to Bailey Zimmerman and his breakout hit, Fall in Love. Bailey Zimmerman exploded this year, arguably becoming the biggest rising star in the genre, and that success started with this song, Fall in Love. Even though Bailey isn't everyone's cup of tea and his online presence can be a bit much at times, I don't think this song gets the credit it deserves as a truly fantastic song. Specifically, I think the writing goes under just about everyone's radar. It's easy to be distracted by the grand, rustic production, as well as what is easily Bailey's best vocal performance to date, but if you truly focus on what he's saying, that's when the emotions really start to hit home. Like I said, this song really shot Bailey into superstardom overnight, but Fall in Love was worth every bit of attention it received. Ooh, number 15, it's time for the Zach Bryan entry. I'm going with She's Alright.
Look good tonight.
Like, it was darn near impossible to choose which song to represent Zach Bryan and the monstrous year he's had, but She's Alright just never left my side. Other than Something in the Orange, which is the obvious hit, She's Alright was always my go-to from American Heartbreak. It's beautiful, it's poetic, it's emotional, the swelling guitars, they just surround you, and the rhythm changes throughout just keep the song on its toes the entire time. What else do I say? Speaking of songs I could not get enough of, number 14 is Me on You by Muscadine Bloodline.
Catfish need a steak, but you can't take the way you done and drop a jaw.
If actions speak louder than words, then just watch my reaction to this song. Me on You is easily one of the catchiest, most infectious songs of the entire friggin' year. The guitar work is unmatched, the delivery is spot on. It's just a perfect song. It's short, sweet, to the point, and well deserving of the number 14 spot. Next up, at number 13, is Colby Cooper with a powerhouse of his own, Storm's Coming. I could not get enough of Colby Cooper's new album, Boy from Anderson County to the Moon. More specifically, I could not get enough of the fourth track, Storm's Coming. It's an epic piece of psychedelic country rock. The whole song is an absolute jam, and it's just about fighting it out in a relationship. Both parties just agreeing to go at it so they can wake up to a blue sky in the morning, but tonight they're gonna board up the bedroom. There's wine bottles being hurled across the room. I love all the metaphors of natural disasters. It's just this. I just love this song. Then at number 12, I've got Flower Shops by Ernest and Morgan Wallen. Now, technically, this song came out in 2021, okay? But it literally came out on December 31st, 2021. So I'm gonna make an exception here, and if you have a problem with that, literally just kick rocks. Flower Shops is easily one of the most refreshing singles to be put out to country radio, and I'm so glad it's doing as well as it is. Similar to how Me on You is like the perfect fun song, Flower Shops is the perfect quintessential sad country song. In Waltz Time with Ernest and Morgan buying flowers as a last-ditch apology to their ladies, it's timeless, it's heartbreaking, the steel adds a fourth dimension to this track, and I mean, come on, who doesn't love Flower Shops? Next up at number 11 is Parker McCollum's Handle on You.
Tennessee and Kentucky, 'cause you ain't here to love me.
I think this is one of Parker's most dynamic singles he's ever put out. The writing is so clever, alcoholism has truly never been this fun. Parker also really turned the clock back on this one, which I don't mean as an insult to his music since he's moved to Nashville. I mean, his Gold Chain Cowboy album last year was one of my top albums of 2021, but where a lot of his stuff tends to lean in a more rock-oriented sound, Handle on You is straight down the pipe Texas country from one of its biggest stars. Top 10! We made it. This many more to go. And kicking off the top 10 is one of the strangest, one-of-a-kind friendship anthems you'll ever hear. If You Go Down, I'm Going Down Too by Kelsey Ballerini.
It's dirt on you, it's dirt on me.
What an unusual song. It's a song about having your friends back through the thick and thin, saying if you've got an aisle with a mess you gotta clean up, I'll be showing up with bleach. But she goes even further, explaining how they would even cover a murder for each other. Hypothetically, if you ever killed your husband, hand on the Bible, I'd be lying through my teeth. The song is so fun and so strange. I love how playfully she proposes these like criminal plots to cover up crimes to show her commitment for her friend. It's arguably the most country song Kelsey Ballerini has ever put out. It's witty, it's clever, it's very Dixie Chicks. It's all around just one of the strangest, coolest songs from 2022. Coming in at the number 9 spot is Neon Light Speed by John Party.
Slow and steady, step into the backbeat.
One of the toughest decisions I had to make when making this list was choosing which John Party song I wanted to include. Literally like half of his album could have been on this list. Rain Check, Mr. Saturday Night, The Day I Stopped Dancing, Fill Her Up, Your Heart or Mine, but ultimately I went with Neon Light Speed because it is the one I haven't been able to turn off. There is just a groove, a swagger to this song that I cannot resist. The way the melody in the chorus just slowly shifts up and up and up, all the bass walks to the chorus and verses, musically it's just so rich, and I think that's what has made John Party's music age so well over time. He uses such a wealth of different instruments and sounds, and it all comes together like 1970s gold. If Neon Light Speed is gold, then this next one is dark coal in a good way. Coming in at number 8, it's Cole Wetzel's... Coming in at... Ain't no way I said Cole after saying Cole. It's Co Wetzel's Haunting Beauty, Cabo.
Reggae song station playing too damn loud. Senorita.
Y'all know how much I loved El Paso, but unlike the John Party album, there was no hesitation as to which song from El Paso I was going to include on this list. It was always going to be Cabo. It's one of the most blunt, jarring, borderline unsettling songs of the entire year. Co does such an excellent job of painting this rock star lifestyle in the ugliest form possible. And when you add in the super melodramatic shades of rock and classical Hispanic music, as well as Co's passionate performance, you feel the misery he's singing about. It's such an interesting angle on a lifestyle a lot of artists like Co would rather glorify, but Co does the exact opposite. He completely vilifies the entire way of life, and boy is it ever compelling. Next up at number 7, I've got When We Die by Ben Burgess.
'Cause I'm going to the bar
When it comes to Ben's album Tears the Size of Texas, this was the grower for me. Similar to the way I feel about Does It Have to Be Over by Cameron Marlow, When We Die is just an absolute juggernaut. By delaying that first chorus, Ben builds so much suspense, he creates so much tension, so then when you finally get the chorus nearly a minute and a half into the song, it's that much more rewarding. The way each section of the song sets the stage for the next is what makes it so addictive. The song has a great flow. I think it's one of Ben's best vocals on that entire album, and it is very well deserving of a top 10 placement. And at number 6, we're going back to the start of the year, the first song in 2022 that truly stopped me where I was, and that is Angels by Thomas Rhett.
You should have slammed the door, changed the locks.
I think the most incredible thing about this song being so high on this list is that it's really nothing new at all. Lyrically, it's just another boyfriend country power ballad with Thomas comparing his wife to an angel and saying he was a wreck before he met her. It's the same romantic, spiritual overlap we've heard every mainstream star write about at some point. It sounds so gosh darn good. I love the slightly rustic tone in the acoustic that plays a pretty big part in the mix here, but even when you hit the chorus and you get these wobbly organs, I think it adds a lot to the atmosphere of the song, but it's really Thomas's vocals that made it stand out. His belting across the entire chorus is so gripping, and then when he transitions into the bridge and he carries over that final line for the chorus and goes like, maybe angels don't always have wings and halos. I mean, come on. Are we hearing the same thing? Because that's beautiful. And with that, we have arrived at the top 5. These are truly the elites of the elites, the first of which is Morgan Wallen's Don't Think Jesus.
If I was him, I'd say to hell with you. Ain't no
From the moment I heard him perform this on his porch a little over a year ago, I knew he had something special, and the final product couldn't have hit the nail on the head any harder. There's no point in breaking down the meaning of this song because at this point everyone knows, everyone's reviewed it, everyone knows what the song is about and had it explained to them, so I'll save you that time. The song really resonated with me because I think anyone of Christian faith who has ever gone through a rough season, which is every Christian, can relate to this song immensely. It is so unapologetically human and humbling, and just as how my 2022 went, this song sort of acted as like a backing track, like a recurring theme song, if you will. Woo! Number 4! Who is it? Well, let me tell you, it is Watermelon Moonshine by Lainey Wilson.
Drinking watermelon moonshine. Cut the
Such a simple, straightforward, cute little southern tune about, well, Lainey's first time with a guy, and how something as simple and goofy as watermelon moonshine, the taste and smell of that, is what brings her back to that night. The whole song just twinkles. I am obsessed with the guitar and the transition that's soaked in reverb. I think it adds so much space and depth. The song also features one of my favorite melodies of the year. It's just easily my favorite Lainey Wilson song ever. Alright, now if you've been around the channel for a minute, you know we cannot move on to the podium until we shine some light on some honorable mentions. These are the songs that made it to the venue, but they just couldn't find a seat. We got Dancing Around the Truth by Aaron Watson, Tomorrow Me by Luke Combs, Start Nowhere by Sam Hunt, If We Were a Country Song by Madison Kozak, Songs About You by Brett Eldredge, Nothing But Love Songs by the Randy Rogers Band, Save It for a Sunny Day by Drake Milligan, and More Than Me by Ian Munsick. Now we can move on to the podium, and carrying over from number 4 with the fruity drink songs, taking the bronze medal this year is Orange Juice by Noah Kahan.
You said
Noah Kahan is a new face many in the country scene have come to know lately because of his brilliant album Stick Season, which is a notable shift from his previous acoustic pop style into a much more folksy, singer-songwritery country avenue. And as a result, the country music community has kind of welcomed him with open arms, myself included, because why would we not welcome someone making music as good as Orange Juice? I'm gonna try and keep this brief, but I could genuinely stay on this song for hours. Right off the bat, the perspective of this song is so unique. The song begins with Noah inviting a friend over after a party has died down, because since the friend has become sober, with the party dead, there's nobody to tempt her with alcohol, and Noah says, if you want a drink, there's orange juice in the kitchen. But then there's this dramatic, sonic shift. It feels like someone turning the lights out. The mood just goes dark and eerie, and it shifts over to the girl's perspective as she proceeds to lose her mind on Noah for a variety of reasons, accusing Noah of talking behind her back and just generally not being the man he presents himself as. She even references a car crash they got into a while ago in which Noah wasn't hurt whatsoever, and that miracle sort of drove him to take his faith more seriously. But as a result of prioritizing his faith, this girl says, now I'm third in the lineup to your Lord and your Savior. Ouch. Like I said, I don't have enough time to break down the entire song. That's a scattered summary of like the main idea. I'd strongly encourage you to give it a listen if you haven't already, and do yourself a favor, read along with the lyrics while you listen. It was truly one of the most fascinating, entrancing listening experiences I had all year. Silver medal time, my second favorite country song of 2022 is Yearbook by Ingrid Andrews.
They were in love, you can read it, I guess I...
Speaking of unique perspectives to write a song from, Yearbook is Ingrid looking at the current state of her parents' marriage and wondering where it all went wrong, because the last time her mom and dad were on the same page was in the yearbook, which is such a brilliant line. And the whole song is built around the yearbook and playing on different words related to a physical book and the high school. She says the 50-yard line grass was as green as theirs would ever get. But really my favorite line comes right in the middle of the chorus when she says, "They were in love, you can read it. I guess I've just only seen it in a red ink heart around my father's face." That line crushes me every single time. It's so heartbreaking as she tries to believe or justify expressions of love that are obviously insincere. You can see the hearts drawn around their picture, you can see the pretty notes they left each other on the back page, but when you actually look at how their day-to-day life plays out, it is not a reflection of what they left in each other's yearbook. And with that, we have arrived at the #1 spot, my favorite country song of 2022, all things considered, is Love Goes by Clayton Mullen.
They met just a couple of hours ago at a bar.
I raved about this song for months after it came out,
She was dancing off.
and I'm gonna rave about it again. Because at the end of the day, 3 chords and the truth reigns victorious once again. This song doesn't have the flash of neon light speed. It doesn't have the cinematic nature of orange juice. It doesn't have the twinkle of watermelon moonshine. What Love Goes has is a true tale. In this song, Clayton presents 2 different scenarios of how someone's failed attempts at love have left them in a broken place. The first is a girl waking up from a one-night stand. She's just a partier, dancing off her problems at the bar every night she can, getting with every guy she sees. She hasn't seen her dad in nearly a month. And then the other is a heartbroken dude still in high school, and how a breakup has left him cold to love, and he's become a much more reserved person, not really interested in anything the world is throwing at him. Every week, a new girl, no smile, but hers could bring his back. And then in the chorus, it's not even like he's making some profound statement. Clayton's just pointing out the obvious, saying everyone knows this isn't how love's supposed to go. But due to one reason or another, this is how it often plays out for a lot of people. And that's just such a human observation. It's so pretty, so simple, nothing more than a fiddle and a guitar, and nothing less than my favorite country song of 2022. So, those are my top 22 country songs of 2022. I'd love to know your favorites in the comments below. What did you think on my list? Did you agree? Disagree? If you enjoyed this video, a like really does help me out, and if you're new and like what you see, maybe consider subscribing for some more country music content. 2023 is going to be a big year. I feel it. In the description below, you can find links to my Instagram, Discord, podcast, and Patreon if you'd like to check me out on any of those or support me on any of those over there. And yeah, top 10 albums is next. Stay tuned.